How we doing, everyone? It's John Garrison. I got Dolores Garrison here with me. We are with God's disciples, and this week we are talking about becoming who you are meant to be. If you guys can, go to our channel, God's Disciples, like and subscribe, comment, share if you will. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, so this week we're talking about becoming who you are asked to be. I thought about something that happened at work for me where I saw a crown in the mirror of my control room, and it was like a crown of thorns. And it immediately made me start thinking about what I've said before is if you want the crown, you have to carry the cross. And if you want the change, you have to go through. If you want the resurrection, you have to go through the tomb. And I'm thinking, all right, so obviously there's been some tribulation in our lives in just the recent times where we've been challenged at our highest challenge. And because of that, that's why I think the Lord was indicating that these times in this season is going to be times of a lot of challenges to help you become who you are. And whenever we, like, if anyone's been to a theme park or say Cedar Point, for instance, and you look at someone who's on the roller coaster and you think about the adventure of it, you kind of get into the mindset of, I want to be on that because it looks fun. It looks like adventurous, this and that. And it's kind of the same indication for us when we look at how we want to be in our lives. And if we have someone that's a bit of a role model, we don't look at the tribulation that they have to go through. We don't look at all the ins and outs that they got to go through. We just see that type of image that we admire.
Right.
So God has said it. Jesus has said it. Many have been called, but few are chosen. So help me out with that.
So like you were saying with the whole roller coaster thing, you know, the roller coaster stuff is made for certain people. I guess you could say, like, it's not for me. We've done it.
True.
I keep my eyes closed the whole time. But me closing my eyes and having that faith that we're going to be safe, that I'm going to be safe, you know, because my life is in God's hands.
For sure.
You know, and you walking with your eyes are closed during the whole roller coasters, the ups and downs and the flips and everything else. It's just like you walking blind, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, you're going to let him lead you as you're blind and your eyes are closed.
I like that.
So that's what I would think as being blind and walking to who you were going to become is because you're giving yourself to him, to God, and he is leading you in that direction that he needs to lead you into.
Well, as a reward for that type of tribulation, we might not see it at first.
No.
Because the ride's not over with.
Right.
But the point is, when the ride is finally over with and you go on to your next chapter, which is the next roller coaster or the next phase in your life,
yeah,
you comprehend what you just went through. You find stability through all of that adversity, and you think in your mind that I finally got some ground, I finally got some stability that I can move in a direction that doesn't allow me to be emotionally a wreck.
Right.
and it takes time, but it's the effort that we're putting into,
Mm-hmm.
and we're calling people to be who they're called to be. And for that, I want to add a scripture for real quick. It's in Psalms chapter 95, 4 and 5. In his hand are the deep places of the earth. The strength of the hills is this also. The sea is his, and he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. So I feel like when you think of everything that's been created into the world, everything was set up not for failure, but for gain, for prosperity, for multiplying, and for life, for birth, to live.
Right.
So having that kind of confidence, knowing that God has structured each end of the earth and made this his holy ground, we can assume that we're protected. We can assume that we're guided through all of this trial and error.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's also the same thing, like you were just saying, is like the ground being your stability where you're still walking. But you also have to have that faith that you're still going to go into that right direction and just believing in him. I mean, you might not feel him there all the time, but he's there. He's going to lead you in the right direction, regardless of whatever pulls or linings and stuff that is trying to lead you in a whole nother direction. You know, I've gone through my situation. I've gone through my situation a couple of times, like my battles during the week, a couple of weeks, and it's just, you still have to ask for your forgiveness.
Were those problems your fault, though? They weren't really your fault.
I mean, yes and no, but me being the person that I am, like I should have been able to control myself a lot better. Because I have God's, I have God helping me and supposed to be leading me. But then you also have that part of you where you choose what you're going to choose to do, I guess you could say. So my choice was not the right choice, which I do regret doing, but it happens. And you just know for next time not to do it again or not to get involved or whatever it may be.
I agree. But as you go through those points in your life, you realize you're taken out of your element, but for a reason. I mean, if the Lord expected us to know everything that we were planned to do and how to overcome it, how to handle it on every situation, we wouldn't gain anything. We need a little bit of separation from him, of kind of guessing. And it kind of pairs with what we talked about in the beginning, is for the crown of thorns. Yes, those times, those elements of making bad choices hurts. Like a crown of thorns would hurt our head, our mind. But in the other point of it is wanting to be resurrected and going through the tomb, is that space of those 3 days of space or hours or months without getting any clarification from him, and then being resurrected with the truth and given enlightenment by God to move forward and to have resilience,
Right.
and to have that confidence that we need.
And I have a scripture, or I have a verse. It's in Matthew chapter 17, verse 20, and it says, "And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So to me, that just tells me, like, it doesn't matter how much faith you have, as long as you have just a little bit of faith and you're able to control your situations, I guess you could say. And you should be fine as long as you ask for forgiveness, and you should be able to forgive yourself as well, because that's another part of forgiveness. Not only are you forgiving yourself, but you also have to forgive that other person for what they did, regardless if they think they were in the wrong or not. You should still be able to forgive yourself and that person one way or another. And that's even if they don't accept your apology or whatever, you know? So that's my part of who you're supposed to be, you know?
Yeah. Taking the responsibility even when you might not even be accountable for
Yeah.
in that situation, but taking that responsibility is the first step of that leadership that it takes to being who you are. Sometimes it just resonates with us in our soul to take responsibility and take action, like forward action of repentance and asking for forgiveness, because our spirits know that how much healing can come from this if one of us just lays down and decides to surrender to the thought of giving up, or the thought of giving in.
Yeah.
And yes, it doesn't make us look, some people may say it makes you look weak, but it really doesn't. It shows strength in who God is, because surrender can ultimately accommodate power that is endless. Anything can be produced, or anything can manifest through forgiveness and love.
Right.
And even in our relationship, forgiveness has been the only reason why we are still together.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So looking at relationships and looking at goals, or looking at anything that inspires you to be a better person, is going to influence some type of forgiveness. It's going to influence some type of challenges that you have to be the first one in line for that roller coaster. You
Yeah.
have to be the one that's buckling in first.
Oh, definitely. And sometimes it's hard to swallow that pill, you know? But like you said, I think you said, didn't you say earlier today, like, you have to be the bigger person? So, like, you have to be that bigger person to be the first one. Like you said, be in line first. You got to be the first one to even start a conversation, or be the first one to apologize for whatever the situation may be. Whether you think you were in the wrong or not, or if you think that person was in the wrong or not, either way, you still have to be the very first person, and you forgive everybody else, including yourself.
And it shows light. I mean, when you can really get apologetic about it, and you just go, I'm so sorry. My mind was not even focused. I apologize. I'm sorry. I don't know what was happening at that time. If I was wrong, let me know, and I'm sorry. You know, just going to that extent shows character of someone who is, what is that word I'm looking for?
Sincere?
Transparent.
Okay.
Transparent. Basically, like, there's truth. You can see through that person, and there's beauty from it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and then with that also, there is another verse that I have here. It's in Luke chapter 3, verses 5 through 7. It says, every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low. And the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough ways shall be made smooth. And all flesh shall see the salvation of God. Then said he to the multitude that came forth to be baptized of him, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the I don't know that word. Worth to come. So to me, that's also like the parts where he was saying like the crooked shall be made straight. That's just like you're eventually gonna go through a crooked line. You're gonna walk down that bad path, but eventually you'll find your way to get straightened up and try to stay there. But eventually, like he said, it's gonna take some time, some crooked lines and everything else. But at the end of the road, it's still going to be the straight, solid path that you are supposed to be following and seeking. And then again, like the roughness of the road, and it'll be smooth.
The Lord used the analogies with valleys quite a bit throughout the scriptures. Valleys, mountains, creeks, this and that. And I think what he was trying to insinuate, what God was trying to insinuate, is that God sees everything. He created it all. So he's watching at every point of our life. And sometimes we have to be at a point of a valley.
Yeah.
Where there's crookedness, valleys are not very comfortable. They're basically aisleways of, it's hard to describe, but we'll say a bumpy patch in our life that we got to go through. Similar with creeks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Passing through that right now in shoes that we don't really want to get dirty would be a problem.
Right.
So when we get to that moment in our life, we can assume that God is reflecting on us and he's looking at us from afar but so up close.
Yeah.
And saying, I see who you are, but I plan to change it. There's things in your life that need to be corrected, but if you allow me to correct it, they will be resolved. And your issues for that area or that department of your life will no longer hinder you.
Right.
So surrender and give it to God to deal with, because it was his in the first place to deal with. He's the reason. I'm not saying that he's the reason that you're going through it, but he loves us enough to let us go through it so he can accomplish it. Because the devil will continue to walk this earth for however long God decides to keep this earth.
Yeah.
But if we can allow the transgression to go on, or allow the transitions to go on, then we can always find a way to be complete.
Yeah. It's just, but like you said, it's just, we just got to continue on to that certain path and keep pushing forward and not letting anything or anyone get in your path of doing what's right.
Now, who are we to be? So not everyone's going to have the same path. We all may be going to the same place, but we're not all going to be meant for the same purpose.
No.
And because of that, I think there becomes problems with people that have a higher ranking with God than others, because they're the ones that are going to be going through the most.
Right.
They're the ones that have to suffer the most and lay down their lives constantly and prove day in and day out that they are still here.
Yep.
That they're still trying to make way to God. Even though, just like Jesus, when he carried his cross, he had, I think his name was Simon, and Simon had to help him because Jesus was so wearied from the travel and from lashes on his back and all of the lashing that the soldiers did to him.
As he was carrying the cross, right?
As he's carrying the cross, he probably lost a lot of blood, I'm assuming. So just like him losing a lot of blood, we lose a lot of patience. We lose a lot of hope and faith.
Mm-hmm.
We might not suffer through the blood as Christ did, but we suffer emotionally how he did.
Yep.
And knowing that if we can continue to believe that we are meant for the crucifixion,
Mm-hmm.
that we're meant for the plan of salvation, then it may become easier for people
Oh, yeah.
when they're at their worst.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I strongly agree with you on that. You know, it's just having, like we said before, it's just having that faith, the walking blind, to make sure that you know what path you're going into and just letting him lead you. Letting him lead you, your family, because he's not going to steer you wrong.
I feel it. Yeah.
So,
Sometimes we can look at our scriptures and get a description of who we are.
yep.
Like, remember we were talking earlier, I said hope is a big word for me lately because the Holy Spirit has delivered a message to me that will stick with me probably for the rest of my time here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
But when the Lord told me that hope is the definition of doing more with less,
Mm-hmm.
it gave me inspiration not only to want to do more with less, starting with our new home and allowing people to come over, come eat, come gather, and come fellow with us. But it also gave me a closer reflection of myself
Mm-hmm.
because I thought about some of the things that I deal with on my trial and error every day, and that is I got two front teeth that are broken but are basically plastered back together. I have scars all over my body. My hair's thinning out. My memory is messed up, and sometimes I can be a little slow. So with all of that added in there and all of how hard it is to try to replicate who Jesus is, and after all of the damage has been done, the drugs, the alcohol, the fights, everything that has tribulated me, it gives me clarification that hope is definitely the reason why he puts the suffering in his strongest soldiers.
And I agree with you. But I also say, like, God created you the way he wanted you to be.
That is true.
So, I mean, everything happened for a certain reason, you know? Everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
So God has created you in his image.
Mm-hmm. A lot of this stuff that you see, the tattoos, you see the scars on my face, and
That doesn't define who you are.
No, but those things happened in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't. The valley doesn't describe who I am.
Right.
When I get to the kingdom, that is who I am.
Right.
I don't get to exercise my full value here on earth because of time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's too much to accomplish to expect it right now.
Right.
So it's one of those things that you have to wonder, how much more can this go? But if you're just starting off, find enough hope in your heart that says, I at least want to get on board.
Mm-hmm.
I at least want to get started.
Right.
And if it takes me to fake that I'm doing enough, then so be it. Because I've heard that from a lot of people say, well, I listen to the scripture, or I believe in God. Okay, well, that's a start.
Mm-hmm.
We all had to start from somewhere.
Right. We all do.
Yeah. And just have to expect that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be, roses and chasing butterflies the whole time. Actually, I can't remember the last time it was.
Right.
Maybe in the very beginning when I was having those great visions and when I'm meditating, but lately it's been a lot of grit and work.
Yeah. He wants us to work for what we have,
Absolutely.
Just basically showing that you are grateful for what you have. You're grateful from where you came from. Don't forget where you're from, but just being grateful for everything that he has given us, the life that we've had. Because if we didn't have that life, we would have known how to be that lion,
I agree. And that's what we are, really. In taking care of our family the way we are, the lion in us is through our communication. But it's also through our resilience to take care of one another. It falls into the category of our loyalty.
Right.
Because you're willing to do anything for me, I'm willing to do anything for you. And we teach our kids that, and it's our habitat, it's our inhabitant of way of life. So they get to pick up on that, and also they get to express it through their work,
Right.
how they work hard, and because if we take things off of their chest, they are able to be free and have energy to go out and accomplish the things that they do in school and with job and things like that, and focusing on career.
Yep.
It all reflects somehow through balance.
Yep.
That correct amount of balance, being that the den of lions that we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up right there, guys. We appreciate you guys being patient with us. Dolores got sick. She was not feeling well, and we had to take a couple weeks off, as we are as instructed by God. So bear with us. We're gonna continue to work hard and bring more messages to you guys as diligently as possible, so that we can get some clarification in your lives and the lives of others that are in need. So please share, please comment, let us know how we're doing, and we love you as always. And we say things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.